Hey everyone, and welcome to another video. So basically I was talking recently with one of my Lolita friends, and they did bring up a good point that you could say that my fashion wardrobe is split pretty 50-50 between Lolita and OG. Nevertheless, I figured OG fashion lovers may also be on a tight budget, so I figured I'd kind of do a bit of like a budget Lolita spin-off and do like a budget OG video, which basically just like kind of encapsulates a lot of things that could be in common with saving money with Lolita fashion, as well as a few more things that I kind of found. If you haven't seen my budget Lolita series, basically it's a bit of a beginner series on like starting up the Lolita wardrobe. So I figured this would be a bit more of like a beginner series if you're thinking of basically starting OG or wanting to build your wardrobe. So here are my tips. I hope they help. So number 1, choosing a substyle. Now, I think this is kind of something that I've kind of come across because I think OG isn't really discussed that much in regards to substyles, but it definitely helps when going to OG fashion to kind of see which sort of like look you're kind of going for. But someone made a really good analogy of basically thinking about OG fashion like two brothers. So basically, would you like to kind of prefer the older one or the younger one? With OG fashion, there's definitely more younger brother style or more like mature older brother style. That kind of makes sense. So just like showing these pictures. By having more focus on what style you're going for, this is going to help give you more of a cohesive wardrobe to avoid buying things that kind of fall into the other category. You would tend to look at buying small hats or like puffy shorts, Peter Pan collar, blouses with puffy sleeves, compared to a more mature OG style, which looks at more like high collared blouses and with long sleeves and like full on proper hats and coats to what you'll be getting. If you're on a tighter budget, I'm going to straight up say that if you go with the older, mature OG style, it will help you skimp out a little bit more like money-wise and get pretty good results. But I'll explain a little bit of this later. So choosing a base color. Now, you may have seen my budget Lolita series, and I'm basically going to say this again. Choose a base color. I'm basically going to like emphasize this. It's going to make your life a lot more easier than having red socks that don't go with your blue shorts, that don't go with your green bow tie. Once again, this is a budget series, so it's all about wardrobe versatility and wardrobe cohesion. You can check my budget Lolita series for more on this topic, but it also stops impulse purchases and helps you plan your wardrobe a lot more. To add to this, you also get your given colours, which are colours that appear on trimmings, lace or edges of your clothes, such as your gold and silvers and black and white. Also going to reiterate another warning is that you have to be really, really careful of your whites, off-whites and ivories not matching. And I can say this from personal experience that I have bought things in the past, mostly specific for Lolita, that haven't matched on that. So same would apply for OG on some pieces as well. I personally, though, for my OG wardrobe is definitely more of like a black, red-based wardrobe. So in regards to whites, I don't come across that as much as an issue. Okay, so creating a coordinate. I think it's basically made up pretty simple. You have your blouse, pants, coat, neck piece, shorts, socks, and a hat. You can swap out your coat for maybe a vest or a cape, but keeping these in mind would give you a pretty solid coordinate. You can also add other pieces such as rings, pocket watches, and canes. You can check out my 6 OG beginner tips everyone should know for a lot of budget OG tips that I've already mentioned, but there were kind of 2 I've forgotten. They're a bit more for like the more mature aristocratic style, but I'll just give them a mention just in case it might help you out. So remember back when I said, older OG mature styles may save you a little more money in the long run? This is now what it's going to play in. If you're going for a more mature OG style, you can legit kind of get away with wearing some more work or formal pants when you're starting out from your normal clothes, or legit go thrift shopping for some locally. I legit used this for a while because I refused to spend my money on getting some brand pants because I was like, where would I spend so much money when it kind of just looks like my work pants? So here's just like a picture of like some Alice in the Pirate pants that I just look like work pants. Even with that in mind, I did end up getting some really cheap brand pants in the future, but once again, they are very, very similar to like pants that you could get away with. So I could definitely say that's something you'll be saving your money on. This is kind of with like a VAT where I must say if you go for a younger OG style, you're going to probably have those puffy OG shorts and you won't be able to kind of get away with having work pants. This also goes for like top hats, where you can pick up some pretty cheap ones, like top hats or bowler hats for more of a mature OG look. Once again, if you're looking for younger OG, it's going to be a lot more specific to what pieces you can use, and I find that's a lot more harder. Okay, so now your main pieces. So if you're coming from Lolita fashion, your main piece would usually be your dress. In OG, I find that your main piece kind of fluctuates between your like blouse and or coat cape vest. So these should be the things you'll be focusing your money on. If you don't have a coat vest cape, it'll fall especially on your blouse to make up for it. Trust me, really nice blouses do make a difference. I guess as I'm also going to say this as like a side comment. When I say vest, I'm also thinking of putting your savings towards a vest. I mean, like a vest, like this looking vest, not vest. You can go for like vest, but it's a lot more subtle, and you might be able to get away with like thrifting a plain vest for a lot cheaper, in which it would be better to spend your money on like this vest. Also, I'm going to say that I find with coats, to hit home that really nice extravagance, this is also something I would really recommend spending your money on. So things like something like pants or maybe like vests that you can get away with thrifting them. I recommend if you're going to go spend money, definitely go look at spending it on blouses or coats, because I think it definitely makes a difference in really giving you a polished look. So this is kind of reiterating what was in my OG tips, but once again, if you're also looking for extravagance, avoid blouses that are way too plain. I find a lot of Lolita blouses can be on the more plain side, for OG in particular. If you have a nice blouse and a jacket combination, you can get away without actually using neck pieces. If you don't have a coat, then make sure the blouse is really fancy and use a neck piece to definitely kind of bring it out, to like bring that fanciness into it. Now, these are kind of like my little tips as well. So once again, if you're on a budget, I'm going to show you like a quick method to make a necktie out of a scarf. And I would also recommend using a brooch to hide the knot. You can also, worst comes to worst, use a ribbon for a simple bow. Just make sure the materials are once again nice quality and not anything too cheap. So, those are my budget OG tips. Here are a few mistakes that I just kind of want to like bring up, just to clarify. Number one is that if you're totally new to OG, don't forget to check the sizing of everything before you purchase them. One thing that always clothes, I guess, is just if you're a little too excited, you hit the buy button, you don't check it. Sizing is very disappointing when it doesn't fit, and I've had things in the past not fit, so heads up on that. The other thing as well that I will bring up is that to be careful not to thrift everything in your coordinate. Now, just to clarify this point, using items that are thrifted can work really in your favor, as it's a lot more cheaper, but this can be a double-edged sword and can be dangerous in OG with so many items you can theoretically get away with in a coordinate. Understand that for every thrifted piece you use, you're going to have to counteract the plainness of it. So if you insist on using a thrifted plain blouse, because it won't be seen maybe under your vest, make sure you get some nice fancy neckwear and a fancy vest to counteract it. Or using a plain vest that you thrifted, maybe get a very fancy coat. What I'm trying to say is please don't take this the wrong way and thrift everything and just be like this formal, casual dude, maybe plus a hat, but yeah, like you don't want to be going for that. But yeah, just like Lolita fashion, to really get a polished look, it is good investing a bit of moolah into some really nice main pieces. I hope that kind of helped as like a beginner video to some budget OG tips. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.